Ram,
Net is not there. You can connect to it.
Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, I put this. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. As a part of in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita, we have been trying to concentrate upon chapter number 2. Again, for a brushing up, we are again repeating. This chapter is not just the philosophical bedrock of the scripture, but a practical guide for everyday living. It addresses life's most pressing questions: nature of the self, inevitability of change, purpose of action, and the path of inner peace. At its heart lies a timeless promise: liberation through self-awareness. Liberation through self-awareness, right action, equanimity. This booklet explores how the Gita's wisdom through chapter number 2 becomes life-changing when applied as a refinery for the mind, that is purifying our thoughts, words and deeds. Purification takes place because of the reality we face, free from biased opinion or prejudiced opinion or colored one. Just reality we are trying to understand through examples. Gita becomes a living force guiding us through the four pillars of existence: individual life, family life, professional life, social life. Set against the symbolic battlefield of Kurukshetra, chapter 2 shows how inner conflicts between duty and desire, fear and faith can be resolved by anchoring ourselves in the imperishable self, Atman. The teachings urge us to perform our Swadharma with clarity, act without attachment to results, master our senses, and remain unshaken in success or sorrow. In doing so, we step into Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam, skill in action, efficiency infused with awareness. Each section of this booklet connects selected shlokas from chapter number 2 with the real life incidents that reflect its relevance in day-to-day challenges, be it professional failures, family decisions, emotional setbacks, or social dilemmas. These stories bring the slogas to life, revealing the Gita's practical utility in cultivating resilience, compassion, responsibility, and self-mastery. Through themes such as detachment, mindfulness, humility, perseverance, transformation, this work shows how the Gita is not just a scripture to revere, but a compass to live by. If we internalize its message, it leads us from confusion to clarity, from restlessness to peace, and from ego-bound existence to liberated living. Let us begin this journey where the Gita truly begins, chapter number 2. Not just to understand how to live, but to learn how to live well, wisely, and with purpose. And when we went through the chapter number 2, not that we are covering all slogas. So what is the message, if we can remember that? Life's inevitable cycle. Everything born will grow, decay, and die. What is the outcome? Wisdom dissolves fear and attachment. Life's inevitable cycle. Handling life's high and lows, joy and sorrows are part of the journey. Balance brings clarity and peace. You are the undying self. The Atman is eternal, untouched by change. Intellectually we understand this. So this realization grants courage and calm. Discover your Swadharma. Each person has a unique role. Authentic living leads to fulfillment. Karma is inescapable. Even inaction is action. Act wisely, selflessly. The mind, friend or foe. Mind shapes our joy or suffering. Train it with awareness. The three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, govern our nature. Know them to grow beyond them. Right to action, not to results. Outcomes are not ours to claim. Effort over expectation brings freedom. Shun inaction. Purposeful action is the path. Dynamism prevents stagnation. Equanimity amidst extremes. Stay steady in gain and loss. Yoga is skill in action. Excellence with awareness is yoga. Beyond bookish learning, mere knowledge does not. Beyond bookish learning, mere knowledge does not liberate. Sthitaprajna ideal, one of steady wisdom remains unmoved. Mastery over senses, discipline leads to true freedom. Conquer desire, anger and delusion, these are the roots of downfall. Peace is the real wealth, a still mind is the source of joy. Desire disturbs peace, attachment causes restlessness. Be unshaken, face all situations with steadiness. Finally, the last two slokas promise liberation if all the above are adhered to. It's 72. 72 slokas are there in this. So these 18 have been again a bit difficult for us, people who are not traditional students of Bhagavad Gita. So we want everything in a crisp form. So these 72 slokas, out of which we have picked up something which is very, very important. And you will find it covers almost all. Inevitability of death, handling everything, highs and lows, accepting everything as a part of a journey, our life journey. Ups and downs are part of our journey. Birth, growth, decay, disease, death, that also we understand. But there is something that is within us which is not subject to these changes. And what is my role? Swadharma. Each one has a unique role. Action is inevitable. Even inaction is not possible. He has given us a mind that shapes joy or sorrow. It defines. Right from morning till evening, we are subject to the influence of these three gunas: passive, aggressive, and indolent. Whatever we can do it in our action, but result need not necessarily be what we expect. So our right is only to action. At the same time, not to remain in inaction. Equanimity amidst extremes. Yoga is efficiency in action. Whatever we do, perfection. Papa's that famous word, inner beauty should be revealed in the outer contact. Inner beauty. Beyond bookish knowledge. Because we have understood, knowledge alone will not help. Practice. Man of steady wisdom. I have to develop a state of steady wisdom, remains unmoved. Mastery over senses. Our five sense organs will run to sense of objects. So some control. Conquer desire, anger and delusion. Gita is identifying the down-pulling forces. How to become alert. And peace is the real wealth. A still mind is the source of joy. At the end of the day, I must have that. Desire disturbs peace. Attachment causes restlessness. Be unshaken, face all situations with steadiness. Do we remember any of these now? Then only we are entering into second chapter. The introduction is that second chapter gives something about how to improve the quality of our life. And from the 72 stanzas, 70 stanzas, 2 stanzas we have left because it promises if we do that, we will get the highest. So what are the 70s? Again another shortening. The 70 has been shortened to 18. Anything that we remember among the points connected with our life? Think over. Right?
Yes, you can speak.
Okay, so you said passiveness, ignorance, and action, three things. Like in one point.
Little louder.
Okay, can I stand up and?
No, you can tell me.
So, earlier you said at one of the points, the passiveness, ignorance, and action, like the difference between the three.
Right? Three gunas.
Three gunas.
Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic.
Three. So when I am acting on something, like right, how to identify if is it not a passive action? Because many actions are actually passive action in our generation. For example, if we are looking up for information that is waste of time, that counts as a passive action. Actually, we are doing something, but it is adding up to nothing like with purpose. And it is a challenge in our days, in at least in our case. So, how to figure out what I am doing at the moment is not passive. Like the identity discriminating between the passive action and like the whatever the alternative can be the active action. If there is a passive action, there should be an active action, right?
I think it needs more clarity on the three gunas about passive action and active action and
There can be passiveness in action.
You watch from the morning.
Sorry?
You watch yourself in the morning, from the morning to evening.
Yes,
Wait. You watch your own actions
Okay.
and you will be able to define which are passive, which are aggressive, which are indolent. For example, when you feel somebody says something we don't hear,
Yes.
we are not interested, that means the tamasic quality is dormant. When you want to rush up with something, then you know it is the rajasic case. When you are patiently hearing, trying to reflect and then react, you are in the passive state. So here in Bhagavad Gita, what we are now trying is, in the second chapter, all these things have been touched. Okay? Whatever we have written. We are now trying to understand whether this has gone inside to us. So this first basically right from morning till evening we are subject to the sway, the influence of these three. That we are trying to understand that. That's all.
Swamiji, I think his basic idea was passive action he thought was something where he's not physically active.
No,
So
passive action is any action, it does not impulsively come out. You pause for a moment, hear or witness, and then do some reflection. Then what comes out of you will be sattvic. That means it will not be, it will not hurt anybody, harm anybody. The love will be there. Everything will be, you will not rush up with any judgment. That is called passive. Suddenly you act. Somebody shouts, you also shout. You find somebody finds fault with you, you also find fault with him. Suppose somebody finds fault with you and you say, I think he has misunderstood me. Or he has misunderstood that I have handled it. You wait for some time and then tell him, sorry, I think you are mistaken. That is passive. The other one is aggressive. And you become indifferent, it's all right. Then that becomes, this tamasic. So Bhagavad Gita in second chapter, the Lord says, right from morning till evening, we are subject to these three. So we have to be alert. We have to be alert against this Rajasic and Tamasic. And then finally, when passive thoughts, passive action, passive words are coming, we should also ensure finally that we don't become proud of it. Somebody may congratulate us, somebody may pat on our back, somebody may appreciate us. Then we may feel that we have become paragons of virtues. No. So first we try to control the aggressive and the indolent, that is tamasic and rajasic. And then when we come to the sattvic, we also try to ensure that we don't become proud of it. Anyway, that's a different question. Here in this attempt, second chapter is comprehensive. So right from the beginning, if you find, it teaches that life is inevitable. Death is inevitable. Death is inevitable. One of the important points in second book. Then ups and downs, sorrows, and they are like pendulum, In everybody's life it will be there. So we don't have to become too much elated by an up, not dejected by a down. Then I am something other than what I assume myself to be. This is the call he gives. You are not what you assume yourself to be. Something beyond or more than what we assume ourselves. Then, what is my role? Then he says Swadharma. That means you get fully aligned with that thought, word and deed. That is Swadharma. Not because somebody said you are following somebody's. Then karma is inescapable. We cannot avoid activity. And we have been given a mind. It is the mind that defines this is good, this is bad. So I should know that. Whether it is good or bad, I don't know. The mind is the one which defines it. Then the three gunas, now with Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Then we have only a right to act, not to its fruit. Because it is not in our hands. This reality Sri Krishna reminds us. Then don't be inactive. Be full of active. This is the clarion call of Bhagavad Gita. Be dynamic, active. Be productive. Be creative. Then extremes when it happens, we should develop equanimity. Treating everything as willed by a higher power, or by becoming my upset, I will not be able to solve the problem. I should be able to view it. Then, in whatever I do, I must bring efficiency, perfection. Even if I sweep the floor, or wash my clothes, or put it in the drying yard, or whether I cook, or whether I work in my field of profession, whether I am with my friends involved in various social activities, everywhere my aim is to bring out perfection, perfection, perfection. Normally we may all be carried away that if we read some books, if we hear some lectures, we have got knowledge. No. That is only knowledge, but that will not help us. Only when it is applied knowledge, that will help us. That means the knowledge goes inside, translated into your activities. Then the Sthita Prajna ideal. In this Bhagavad Gita, in 18 shlokas, he portrays who a Sthita Prajna is. That means a man of steady wisdom. Steady wisdom. And then we should have control over our sense organs. It is running right now. You must have it. What is not to be seen, what is not to be heard, what is not to be talked, what is not to be tasted, what is not to be touched. This we should define for ourselves. That is control. Conquer desire, anger and delusion. In Bhagavad Gita, so beautifully how the sliding, how the fall comes. We should be alert. Starting from anger, how it comes to one's own destruction. And desire disturbs peace, attachment causes restlessness. I try for something, I get it. But I don't stop it. Again I desire for something.
Peace is real.
Fear.
Peace is real wealth.
Every
16:1.
16. These 16 one. Peace is the real wealth. Real wealth means that is our original nature. Papa says, every time he reminds us, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. So stillness is our ultimate gain. And the normal way we can say peace of mind, Then desire disturbs peace. Attachment causes restlessness. Be unshaken, face all situations with steadiness. You cannot stop anything outside. It will come. The samudram, what you call ocean. The ocean will not deny entry of any river. One river may be bringing good water. Another may be some from garbage or something. It accepts everything. One will be salt water. So anything is accepted. That stage we should reach. And then the last 70 over, and last two sentences he says, if you are in a position to remember this and adhere to this, you are sure to get liberation. So this is a comprehensive package, Second chapter is a comprehensive package. Now, in order that it goes inside, we are trying to ask ourselves whether any of the points remain with us. Just a few points. Everything we may not be able to remember. Ah. Ah. Krodhat bhavati. I will just read out that sloga. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate sangat samdayate kama kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyat. How one falls. English is no. Eh? You are the expert. You don't know Sanskrit. என்ன அர்த்தம் தெரியணும்? The moment you start thinking about sense objects, you develop attachment, When you associate yourself, Sangha, when you associate yourself with the sense objects, there develops the asakti. So suppose I get in touch with only sweet, think about sweet. Then to have the sweet, next one. All these things, we must go back to our own life to understand. And then when you associate yourself with that, what happens? Desire comes. And from desire what happens? If it is not fulfilled, anger. And from anger, delusion. You are unaware of the realities. It has no eyes. You did not see the reality. Then at that time we will not know who we are. When this anger takes over us. And then we forget about everything. Then I perish. There is no antibiotic, quick remedy for this. One Mahatma say, just like when you were attached to the teddy bear or playful things when you were a child, but when you grow, it automatically got dropped. That means your priorities got shifted. So attachment to an object gets shifted when you attach yourself to a higher thing. So like that, we try now attach to my real being. This is not, all of us can go look back our own life. Whatever we thought, that would give us joy, it has not given us the eternal joy. It must have given some fleeting joy. So now we know that at least we must have some, is there an eternal joy? So our scriptures and masters say, yes, God who is within you is the eternal joy. So how can I do that? You slowly try to shift your priority from the ephemerals, and fill our mind with attachment toward the higher. This is what they say. So in our practical life, we have to see. So that's why we are doing Ram Nam, because we will be thinking about the power, Papa defines Ram as life force, awareness or Chetana, consciousness or intelligence. Oh. So when I slowly shift my attention toward that, we have to watch ourselves whether we are moving steadily. So these are some of the methods. We have to keep on trying. Each one has to try in their own way. One thing is sure, when we concentrate on a higher one, the lower one gets dropped. There is no effort there. So what does second chapter indicate? We have listed 18. What are they? Huh? Action is inevitable. Okay, then. Huh? Cherry, then you don't have to repeat the same word in your own life what you have seen. Because we are trying to understand from these 18 clues, then only I will be emotionally joining the second chapter of study, How does it get related to my life? Otherwise it will be a session, that's all. We don't want that. Second chapter deals with... What are the 18 points now discussed?
Mind is the cause for everything, joy or suffering.
Mind?
Mind is the cause for everything, joy and sorrow.
சரி
அப்போ அதை நல்லா ட்ரை பண்ணணும்.
ஆமாம். பின்ன train பண்ணணும்னல்ல, നമ്മൾ what we are trying to understand is the second chapter is directly dealing with our everyday life. So 18 points have been picked up. Now we are trying to remember that 18 points so that we have to emotionally get connected with second chapter. Otherwise it will be only a bookish knowledge. There should be an emotional, what do you call that? Binding toward the chapter. Why should I learn second chapter? When I am asking myself, I should know that so far the life I lived, family life, professional life, social life, individual life, all these things and I am looking back. Oh. So 18 points have been beautifully framed by Lord Krishna. What are they? Cheri. Even-mindedness in sex. Yes, correct. Then.
Peace of mind, peace of mind.
I want at least, ultimately I want peace of mind. Okay, then.
Mastery over self.
Mastery over some control, some self-control over our sense objects and sense organs. Control over our sense organs by rushing up to the sense objects. Then, because we are looking back our lives, our cravings, our infatuations, our weaknesses. Then, Eh?
Be passive, not be
passive.
Be passive.
Be passive. Let us know, be passive, because we know what had happened when we became Rajasic or Tamasic. 4. Then,
Detachment from
Detachment.
you look back your life. Detachment, yes.
desire.
Then next,
The desire disturbs peace, someone said earlier. Desire disturbs peace.
desire disturbs peace. Okay. Then,
When we attach ourselves to a higher goal than lower one, lower desires automatically drop off. Gautam Mama said 3 Qurans.
it has come. Then,
non-judgment.
Non-judgment. Lakshminarayan said non-judgment.
okay. Okay. Perfection. Perfection in whatever we have done or we are doing. Then,
Acting beyond likes and dislikes. Acting beyond likes and dislikes.
acting beyond likes and dislikes. Okay. Then, try to connect up with our own life, then the meaning will become very clear. Lord Krishna is giving us something to kindle. So we will use that ladle. At the same time, we look back at our own life content. Then only we become, second chapter deals with that. Then we can enter into second chapter.
Desire, anger, everything else leads to destruction.
Desire, constantly associating ourselves with sense objects leads to desire to anger to delusion to loss of our thing, and then finally destruction becomes total. For everything we have got an example.
Don't react immediately.
Okay.
And Mama said.
Yes, then 18 points which we read out.
You have the right to work, but not the fruit.
Correct. We have the right to work, not to its fruits. How God has tested us. All these things will parade before us. I will tell you one incident. The son was employed somewhere. Father was finding it difficult to make both ends meet, to run the family. He thought of assisting him, and then at that particular time he wanted 5,000 rupees. So a close friend of his, he had money, so this man discussed. He said, okay, tomorrow I will give you a check. After 2 days I will give you a check. So in the meantime, this person went to his father. The property, everything was in the name of father. So he wrote a promissory note for 5,000 rupees from, as if he has received from this friend. Only thing is, date was not put. Check number was not put. So he was carrying the promissory note. So then This friend who was promised to give the money, before he left for his house, tomorrow he will come to the office and then give him. So this man put that promissory note into his pocket. Then he asked, what is this promissory note? He said, you are even going to give me, 5,000. So let it, why should there be a promissory note between us? I said, human life is, unsteady. We don't know what will happen. So let it be there in your pocket. He went. His house is about 3 kilometers from the office. So next day morning, till 9 o'clock, normally he comes back at 9 o'clock, no sign of him. Nobody knows that the promissory note has been given to him also. After a couple of, I think half an hour, somebody came from his home and he said, he has not come home yet. Last night was he staying here? No, he left here by 5 o'clock. Everybody became upset. He has left the office at 5 o'clock, it was an estate, and then he has not reached his home. So laborers were asked to search. Then he was lying dead. Mind you, he stopped there to pass urine or somewhere. He had a massive heart attack. He died there. And the whole night he was there. Immediately the police was informed. They rushed up, then they knew. They did not ask for any other explanation or post-mortem. So their sons were somewhere. So the telephone, everything was done. They promised by noon they were there. By night, the fire, we were busy in arranging for the fire. So before that, this was revealed to another friend. Immediately he said, no, he should be removed now itself. So that person went and told the sons that one friend has been promised to get 5,000 rupees check, and he has given the note in advance. So the other person, immediately the sons are also very honest, straightforward people. They said, take it and give it to him. Next day when the cremation was over, when they opened his drawer, luckily checkbook, cash book, everything is there. The matter was closed. But it was a trying experience for that person. Because instead of getting 5,000, he will have to arrange for another 5,000 to be given. But then why it is remembered now? Because how the test comes and how he puts us in a test for no fault of that person and how he saves him from this. In Vyavahara, all these things are likely, ups and downs. So second chapter gives us this, and without making a fuss, without making anything, resigning to that attitude, everything went off peacefully. So all these things come back to us. So second chapter means it is directly an unfoldment of our own life. For anything and everything, we will, as we enter, when you said, what was the first one? First example, transformation. You remember? Right from transformation, you start thinking about it to link it with your life. Through the example, we were linking it with somebody's life. Now we have to link it with our own life. That is why the chart we showed, this is a study of ourselves. If you only stick to the what do you call, the procedure, or what do you call that, methodology we have adopted for the study, if we concentrate as a research on something other than us, then it's a failure. Every caption given for the example, it should relate to us. When you say transformation, it is not merely the dacoits going and surrendering to Vinobaji. In our life, what had happened? perseverance, optimism. Then, what else? Everybody has forgotten. Integrity. Huh?
She said equality. She said equality.
Equanimity. Then, transient.
Inclusiveness.
Transient. Invariance. Now we should. Correct. Now 7 or 8 or 10 we would have covered. Okay, to understand the meaning through an external example. Okay, we leave it to how it has. I have gone through the life. Then we will be able to put the correct label to our own experience. Then the Gita study becomes perfect. Otherwise, it will be a intellectual exercise, which will not remain with us. Somewhere we have to stitch it with our own life. Though not all, at least a few. That is the purpose of this study. Before we go to others, at least our circle should be convinced, So when we go through each and every example which we have taken about, I think 36, we have now reached 38, I think. 38. So every time first we understand the sloga through an example. Then we try to understand the meaning in our own life. Then the study becomes effective, helpful. Is the message clear?
Yes, so many. So Greek version
He said in Tamil.
it was split in Greek.
It is split in three.
Split three. What are they?
Greek.
Grief.
Deep. Baba. Sure. To understand itself is a problem. We have reached 36.
27.
36.
27. Greek.
Grief. 27 is grief.
Grief. No, we are not talking about that. Grief here. So the purpose of second chapter study, that is what we are trying to understand it today. We have identified about 36, 38, I don't remember now.
38.
But only 36 is here. Okay, let me see.
Slokas are 18. No, 19 slokas. 19 slokas, 38 instructions.
Acha, not this book. Okay. So many files. I remember it was 38 when we worked. 38. Serenity, yes. So 38 examples we were able to get in this study, research. When we go through that study, we try to understand some meaning of the sloga. Then we keep both of them away. Start pondering, how does my life get connected to it? So there are three stages: sloga, example, sloga, and our own life. First we go through a sloga, try to understand it through not the word to word meaning or sloga meaning. That is necessary, of course. So in our case, Malayalam or Tamil, in English we read, okay. Then After that we think about it and others also contribute. Then we try to understand it through an example. And after that we pause again. As it happened in my life. Not probably in the same way, something similar to that, approximating to that theme. Then that particular sloka has entered into me. So this is what we are trying. Tomorrow also we will try the same before getting into another example. Because unless we are careful, unless we are clear about this study will not become effective. At least for us. Every day Papa is clearing it, 4.5 months now we have been on this. Slowly it is emerging now. How Gita enters into me. This is what we want to understand. So that the life to be lived will become definitely effective. Not a study as such. It is purely an evaluation of our own life with the help of Bhagavad Gita. It is this chapter, is exhaustive. Exhaustive means exhaustive. Please think over it. 18 points. What are those 18 points? You may please note down. Tomorrow when we start, we can start with that. What is there in the 72 stanzas? That is very important. Is it very clear to everybody? Otherwise, there won't be emotional binding with the chapter. It becomes it's like any other subject, any other academic studies. We don't want that. Because we are not going to preach Bhagavad Gita to anybody. We don't want that. We want to improve the quality of our life with the help of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the perspective. Kindly think over, please. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam.
Namaskaram, Swami.
നമസ്കാരം 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 അയ്യോ അയ്യോ